You can
So,
do it immediately. You can do it in 6 weeks. You can do it never. What you can't do is not get insurance on the property as long as there's debt. You've agreed to you've agreed to abide by the terms of the mortgage agreement,
mhm.
which include that it must be properly insured.
So purchased a property here in Conroe, Texas. Initially, when it was done, I guess I somewhat dropped the ball on insurance. I waited a little long, but that was because I don't think I was alerted that I needed to do it any faster. So fast forward, the deed has already been recorded.
Sure.
And so I thought, man, I need to get this insurance done. So I started making that happen yesterday. And I actually had to find the agent and the insurance company because it wasn't listed and the owner's old guy didn't know.
Okay.
So I reached out to the insurance agent and she is a little bit less than easy to talk to. Man, she was fired up. Maybe I caught her on a bad day yesterday. I don't know. But I send over the paperwork and she starts looking at it and she's saying, well, what's your financial stake in this property? I was like, I don't know what you mean. I don't own the property. So I don't know. I was just trying to evade the questions more than anything because I didn't quite understand what she was asking. And so maybe that clued her even more. And so she
Well,
went
yeah,
into,
you sound dodgy right off the bat.
yeah, correct. Yeah. So that clues her to go into the county record. So she's on the phone. She looks in the county record and she says, well, but you're on the county record as the owner. And I was like, well, I don't know what you mean. I'm a property manager. So again, I have no idea what she's alluding to, and I'm trying to dodge the question. But kind of conjunctively, my way around that was, well, I'm sending you the paperwork, and you'll understand what I'm trying to do when you get it. So that's somewhat how I disengaged with her. So I sent her the durable power of attorney. I sent her the authorization to release information and a change request insurance policy to add me as additional insured mortgagee to the policy for my company that purchased. And so then didn't even bother to call me back. And then she sent me an email basically stating that I want to make sure I don't paraphrase, but she basically told me that she was sending it to the carrier's underwriting and management team and that they would have an answer for her on Monday. And I'm like, okay, why are you
Your goal is to what? Get you added to the existing insurance?
correct? I guess like an additional
As
insured.
eh, yeah, so
That
that's a handy thing for like the transition or if there's a claim within the time frame of like right around closing. That's really handy.
mhm,
But what I've learned, and it's still a learning process for everybody, what I've learned is that the owner of the property must be the one who has an insurance policy.
mhm.
That doesn't mean there can't be other insurance policies, right? So there's some people who want to go low and slow and they're like, no, do on sale for me. We're just going to keep auto paying the existing insurance policy, even though it doesn't apply. It doesn't provide any value to us, except it does provide value as a cover to keep everybody's eyes over here at,
Mhm.
hey, PITI, the original owner, which we stopped saying seller at that point, John Smith or the owner of the property, whatever. Well, you don't really call him owner either. John Smith has an insurance policy on this property. Everybody looks at that and that's fine. I go pull a separate insurance policy. If you want to be if you want to be as low profile as possible, you just go privately pull a separate policy. You have to name the mortgage company or the lender or any lenders, including a seller in a seller finance transaction, as an additional insured or a mortgagee on your new policy. And your new policy needs to be for the intended use of the property, long-term rental, short-term rental, whatever that's going to be.
Mhm.
Or if it's a rehab, you need a vacant dwelling policy. So you get a new insurance policy and it's your choice whether or not to kill the other policy.
Okay.
If you just do this privately and you make your payments privately, then you have it properly insured and nobody knows any different. And you don't have to make any changes. The assignment of insurance proceeds and other things are kind of a CYA document in case there is a claim on the existing policy.
So I gotta dumb it down for myself. So what you're telling me is that I would basically go get an insurance policy underneath my name,
Yep.
have the
The owner's name. If that's you
Per-
personally or if it's your LLC, whoever's the actual owner is the
right,
one that pulls the
right.
policy.
Okay, and then to bring the prior owner as additional insured on that.
Yes.
And then I would so I would just pay to that and then go back and, let's say in 2 or 3 months, do away with the other policy and then basically send them this policy, send the bank this current policy that I'm paying on.
Yes.
Okay.
You can do
So,
it immediately. You can do it in 6 weeks. You can do it never. What you can't do is not get insurance on the property as long as there's debt. You've agreed to you've agreed to abide by the terms of the mortgage agreement,
mhm,
which include that it must be properly insured.
got it.
And so if you leave it insured by the seller, that policy no longer applies because they're insuring the owner for an owner occupancy. Typically it's an owner occupant, but it could have been landlord, whatever. That policy is no longer valid. It's an open policy that's being paid, but it will not be enforceable. No claims will be enforceable, etc. So it's really effectively uninsured at that point, unless and until you bring on your own policy as the owner
So
for the intended use.
can you tell me a time frame? So tell me what this might have indicated to this insurance lady. So if there's a way to cut off
She's not the
something
problem. She's
past.
not going to call it due on sale. She really doesn't have any power to do anything. Although I guess she could contact the mortgage company and say, "I think there's something fishy going on. You guys might want to look into this mortgage." She could do that. I think that's really low likelihood because it's not really her problem, not her concern. And who is she going?
Okay.
Is she going to sit on hold for 30 minutes waiting to get a hold of somebody? And also, what call center rep at the mortgage company is going to be like, "Yeah, let me dig right into this for you."
Yeah.
So all those things considered, the likelihood is low that the insurance agent's going to cause a problem. However, if the mortgage company gets an updated insurance policy and through either a cursory or like random review or whatever, sees that the owner, as far as they know, the owner, your seller, is not the primary insured, they could have a problem with that. And that's why some people leave that policy in place indefinitely
Okay.
until
So
they can handle a due on sale.
yeah. So effectively, me sending this durable power of attorney to her, if she adds me as the additionally insured, then that might indicate to the bank, like once they see that additionally insured.
Now, the additional insurer is not going to be a problem for the bank because, as far as they're concerned, it's the one person, it's the owner, as far as they know, is the one that they care about. So
Okay.
adding an additional insured is not really a strange thing.
Okay. Okay. So that in and of itself shouldn't cause a problem. But now I know to just go get the additional insurance, give it about 2 or 3 months, and then I can kill the other insurance policy.
And that's what some people do. Again, it's really three options. You can get a new insurance policy and kill the old one immediately and just say, suck it, here's the new insurance policy. And if they have a problem with it, they'll contact you and you have to get on the phone and talk with somebody at that point. Hey, I'm the new asset manager. And that's the verbiage I take. I don't tell any lies. I'm like, look, I'm in charge of the asset now. I've been given power of attorney. It's my job to manage this property. And we insist on being the primary insured because we're the ones taking all the financial liabilities and risks and things like that on behalf of John Smith. I don't say seller, but that is a unique conversation with a unique person and a separate
Mhm.
company from any other call, right? One mortgage company is different from another. And so there's no guarantee that that conversation is going to be successful. You may talk to somebody else. You may talk to somebody who's like, oh, this makes sense. Cool. Never mind. You may get somebody who's having a bad day and they're like, no, this is not how this is supposed to work. We need John Smith to be the primary insured. And if you can't do that, then we're going to force place our own insurance and it's going to be expensive.
Mhm. Okay.
So there's three options. You can replace the insurance right away, like at closing. You can replace the insurance or double up on insurance for a few months and then get rid of the old insurance later on. Or you can just keep paying that forever. Maybe use your power of attorney to reduce the coverage to an absolute bare minimum or
Mm.
increase the deductible to some unrealistic like $30,000 or $10,000 deductible to reduce the monthly rate if you want to keep that in place long term. But that's really the three options is destroy it, wait to destroy it, and never destroy it.
Okay. Cool. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Any other questions on this topic?
I don't think so, right? None that I can think of off the top of my head. It was a pretty thorough answer. So,
Okay, cool. And this is something I've needed to make a recording on for a long time.
yeah, I was unsure. So it shines light now and into the future. So, yeah, it's a great thing. Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Talk soon, Caleb.